Slashing bodies to Mr. Sandman. Here's your look at the Waxwork Records, Spinatures, Halloween 2, Michael Myers. Stalking the halls of Haddonfield Memorial Hospital and slashing his way through security guards, doctors, and nurses, Michael Myers can't be stopped. His next victim, your turntable. The Michael Myers Spinature has come to your quiet little town. Before we go stabbing to the oldies, how about we first figure out how tall is the Spinatures Halloween 2 Michael Myers? While I have been blabbering away, I've already taken the time and brought my laser tape measure into the view here. We're going to stop it right at the very top of his head. Right there. The Spinatures Halloween 2 Michael Myers is 5 inches in height. I didn't want to say tall because he's technically missing his lower half. We can switch that then over to centimeters, revealing that Spinatures Michael Myers is 12.7 centimeters. A gentleman with a well-groomed mustache at the back of the room has asked what Spinatures are. Thank you very much, sir. You followed the script quite correctly. Spinatures, if you are new to these, are basically collectible statues that sit on top of your turntable as your album goes round and round. Now, of course, Waxwork Records have produced a whole bunch of different Spinatures. I'm saying that, of course, to you, sir, with the well-groomed mustache. You may not already know that. But if you check on over at their website, they are actually producing a whole bunch of different Spinatures. We have in the past looked at the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein. Now we're getting to something that's a little bit more personal and a personal love of mine. Here we have Michael Myers. Now this is Michael Myers from, of course, Halloween 2. They probably couldn't get the license for the first Halloween. Picking it up, I'll show you how it already attaches to the display base. So essentially what it is like you get the top half of the collectible figure, but then underneath it, right around the logo here, is a hole. This is going to sit onto the post. The inside center, this the dowel, I suppose, as the album is spinning, this essentially is going to plug on top of it. So what that does, as you're then watching the album, you're basically going to have these Spinatures literally spinning around, living up to their name. And like I said, they have a whole wide range of them. But as soon as I found out that they did have a Michael Myers released, I picked this one up along with the Trick-or-Treaters from Halloween 3. So we'll be looking at that in an upcoming review. Now this is Michael Myers more near the end of the movie. As you can see, he's got bloodied eyes, the eyes trickling out here. What's rather interesting, though, is the blood that they've trickled out is sculpted in there, as opposed to just painting in the blood. Not really sure why specifically they felt the need to sculpt that. I mean, I would have been fine and good if they had just really just painted in those lines, but they did go the extra mile of sculpting it in there. I think that's a really nice touch. The mask is actually pretty good, all things considered. Proportionately, I would say his head is way too big for his body, and his hands seem a little large as well. But I mean, keeping it to the sort of the sizing of what these Spinatures are supposed to be in the first place, I think it kind of works well with like the other Spinatures we've looked at also as well. So like if you overlook the fact that his head is a little on the large side, it's actually not a bad looking head at all. There's the side, as you can see, where they've ripped away the wig on the original Kirk mask. There is, I suppose, supposed to be that line right there. They've kind of missed it just a little bit, the way that they painted that in. But it's pretty close. And at least it gives you... I mean, they really could have just left that off completely. It is a nice touch that they actually did put that in there. And he's also got it on the other side there as well. His eyes are quite black. There is eyeballs in there, but the way that they painted it, it really looks a lot nicer, I find, just looking at his black, blank sockets. I think that looks a lot nicer. Yeah, they probably could have painted in the eyeballs in there, but then you would just ultimately be looking at a Spinatures of Michael Myers with his eyeballs visible. I don't know, I kind of like the dark black more so. Getting a closer look, though, at his mask, you can see that they've airbrushed rather nicely just above the eyebrows and just around the back section there as well. If I could really offer up any little bit of critiquing, I find like his eyebrows are a little too dark for my liking. And I probably would have maybe gone a gray, or maybe even just sculpted those and painted them white. I think the black eyebrows are a little... It throws the figure off just a little bit. I don't want to even call this a figure as it's more a statue, but the black eyebrows do a number, I think, of just making it look a little off. I do, though, I think, like I said, the coloring looks really good on this, especially when you're seeing it from the side. The hair also, for what it is nicely sculpted. No additional coloring, as you can see, has been added to the hair. It's just basically been kept to this dark chocolate brown. more of the paint you can definitely see gets afforded to the face. Now, I don't know if he's been shot 6 times. I can see, well, there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, there's 6 bullet holes entering into the front of Michael Myers, and in many of the cases, exiting out the back there as well. So at least they got that pretty good. The coveralls, or boilers as well, kind of a nice dark blue, and they've added some brushing of lighter blue in there as well. Well, it's got some nice, interesting color going for it. And, of course, for his gestures, he's got the one hand going up to his face. I guess trying to, more shocked than anything else, that somehow he's able to be shot twice, accurately, in both eyeballs. I was quite shocked to see that as well. Now, one thing I will say, though, about the Spinatures of Michael Myers is they've decided to have him displayed here with his scalpel. I don't know if you can hear that as I'm bringing my finger across it. It's that kind of no-no plastic. The type of plastic that sure looks good, but I would feel is too brittle, especially if you're going to be putting this down on an album or putting it in the middle turntable. This is going to spin around, and if you're looking at it, I don't think it's going to graze this, short of me actually putting this on a turntable, which, just let you guys all in on a secret. I don't have a turntable just yet. I'm hoping to pick up one, especially seeing as I've been picking up these Spinatures as of late. The only thing I worry about as I'm sort of just using my finger right now as an example, is that going to get too close to the album as it's spinning? That is something I'm going to worry about. I think they probably may have brought that in just a little bit more. And then along the top here too, I feel like this could be something that could potentially break. Other than that though, it's a really nice looking Michael Myers. Even if it's a case where you don't decide to use this as an actual turntable Spinature, which is of course what this brand is really being designed as, just really as a statue piece, I think Michael Myers looks really quite nice. The coloring is good on it. There's a few little, things about it I probably would have changed, like the eyebrows. I think the eyebrows being the biggest one for me. The lines on the side of his head don't bother me too much. Maybe they could have been a little bit lighter, but maybe like the eyebrows is about the only thing I would have changed the Spinature of Michael Myers. It's time, Michael, for some golden oldies. Of course, you could use this for spinning some golden oldies, or if you have an album collection right now, this would be an ideal thing to put in the center turntable. Speaking of turntables, as we have here certainly in final looks, as we've got Michael Myers here on the rotisserie, I guess this sort of could give you a good idea of how the Spinature would work. This would be spinning around probably a little bit faster than what we're doing it right now. Again, I feel like that scalpel might be just a little bit too close quarters for if you're going to have an album around it. Maybe it's not going to be a problem. Maybe eventually when I do pick myself up a turntable, and I have been shopping around, by the way, for a new turntable, I probably will go back to these figures and maybe do a follow-up video where I'll actually have them sitting on top of the turntable. Have you picked up, though, any of these Spinatures? If you have, let me know down below in the comments section which ones you have picked up. Just before this, of course, before we looked at Michael Myers, we had looked at a Frankenstein and a Bride of Frankenstein, but I did also pick up, the same time I picked up the Halloween 2 Michael Myers, the Trick-or-Treaters from Halloween 3, that we will be looking at in an upcoming review. If you are someone that falls into that same category as myself that don't currently have a turntable, these look just great as display pieces. They're not super expensive either, and I'll provide the link down below to Waxwork Records. Waxwork Records is also the same website where you can pick up movie-themed soundtracks. And they always release them in really interesting covers. I always wanted to get the Friday the 13th ones, and just kind of missed my chance to get those. And I think right now they have Fear Streets. So if you guys were a big fan of Fear Street, you may want to click the link down below, take you on over to Waxwork Records, and you guys can check out the Spinatures as well as some of the soundtracks that they're advertising over there. If you guys are also new to this channel, enjoying all the content you're seeing, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, turn the bell notification on, and keep your peepers peeled to this channel, because not only will we be looking at other collectibles, but as already stated, we will be looking at the Waxwork Records Spinatures of the Trick-or-Treaters, all 3 of them, from Halloween 3. They actually sold them individually, and I just picked up all 3 of them. So we will be looking at that in an upcoming review. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.